Alrighty, and we are live. Hey guys, welcome to the Superhero Cuts podcast where we talk about things Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. It's your boy Stevie Hayes, joined by Jerry. Bro, how you doing today, dog?
I'm doing great, bro. All good things going on in my life. Can't complain. How about you?
Same here, brother. Same here, brother. It's I leave out tomorrow to go to Arizona, so just been a lot of packing and just crap going on.
All right, you said you were going to. What are you doing in Arizona?
So
Church?
one of my best friends, he's getting married Thursday. So
Oh, nice.
and I'm the best man, so it's gonna be super fun. So
That's fun. That's fun.
yeah, bro.
And I'm sure everyone will be excited to see you and Emily given the news.
Yeah, bro. It's gonna be super fun,
Yeah,
bro.
all your
So,
friends know at this point, I'm sure.
yeah, pretty much,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So, but you were like one of the first people I told
Appreciate that.
on the fact. But but yeah, man. So yeah, we are pretty hype about just life and just so much stuff going on, man. So we're pretty excited. But yeah, other than that, man, it's been a good week. Creature Commando stuff came out, which we're gonna talk about today. We don't have a crazy docket just because there's not really a lot of stuff going around, but we do obviously have mad topics to talk about.
Yes.
And to get to. So we're going to start first with really Superman because I really want to talk about the importance of this movie and what this movie represents. Because I have been like kind of reading online, and I feel like whenever I post a Superman video on TikTok or Instagram or whenever we post one, there's so much hate, bro, for this Superman movie.
No, crazy.
So Jerry, like I know you already have this off of the top of your head because I know you. So why is this Superman movie, bro? Why is it so important?
We are finally going to have a DC, for lack of a better term, equivalent universe to the MCU. We're finally going to have another version of an expansive and consistent comic book universe in cinema, TV, potentially even video games. So, for the longest time, the only place to go for fire comic book movies has been the MCU. And the MCU has been awesome. And I don't knock it in any way in this commentary, but you know who the MCU doesn't have? Superman. The MCU doesn't have Batman. The MCU doesn't have Green Lanterns. The MCU doesn't have Flash. So there are a lot of people's favorite characters that we don't get to see in movies. We've never seen Green Arrow in a movie, ever. So, like, this is a big deal. And Superman, it's been a really long time since a comic accurate version of Superman has ever graced the movie theater screens. So it's awesome. And Superman is on a major high note, especially this week. Shout out Derpy Entertainment. I see your comment. Don't spoil it for me because I have not seen it yet. If you haven't been watching Superman and Lois, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Great
that show is incredible. It is so good. And yeah, the Superman is such a big deal because it's Superman, because it's going to be comic accurate. And I don't think everyone realizes the fact that, like, because we don't get so much out of Superman until, Superman and Lois, but for a long time, we never really got proper Superman entertainment other than comic books. And Superman, people talk about world building in the comic book space all the time. And I feel like Superman doesn't get its flowers for the Metropolis world building. Superman's got Lois Lane. He's got the Daily Planet, Jimmy Olsen. I mean, the characters go on and on and on. And I would say that in terms of Superman's mythos, I would compare it most to Spider-Man. Not saying I would compare Superman to Spider-Man, but they both are in a city where they have the job of an average everyday citizen in that city. They have a mom that's not really a mom. One has an aunt. One has his adopted mom. They kind of look alike, and they work for newspapers. They have their girlfriend. They have friends at the newspaper. So, and it's a city. Metropolis is a city like New York City. So, listen, I think it's going to be incredible. And it's anyone's guess of who is going to appear in the movie. We really don't know that much about it, but we're going to have the trailer very soon. So just know that finally we're going to have somewhere else to go other than the MCU, because Star Wars is not it right now.
Yeah. And the one thing that I don't like, and this is why I love the way we cover content, is because a lot of people, they love to spew their dislike for something without objectively telling us why they dislike it. And right now, because there's been no trailer, there's only been like 2 photos plus the set photos. There's really no valid reason to hate on what James Gunn is doing right now. And given the Creature Commando stuff, which we will talk about, I think that's the last topic in our docket. But given the love that Creature Commandos is getting, that is just a testament of the work that James Gunn is putting into this content. And the fact that someone is saying that Superman is going to be the biggest Superman movie ever, is going to be the biggest Superman movie ever because Hawkgirl is in it, because there is a Green Lantern, aka Guy Gardner, he is in it. Supergirl is rumored to be in this film. I mean, the Supergirl movie is stemming from this film as well. So there's a lot. So Lex Luthor is in it, and who know, and as Mr. Terrific is in it, right? Like there's a lot of characters that's going to be up
Guy Gardner.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. And so that number one makes it the biggest Superman film of all time, but also the universe is starting from this movie. And I think what makes Superman more interesting than a lot of other stuff is that yes, this is the first movie that we are going to see, but there is a backfill of history before this Superman film that I am excited for them to fill the blanks in. And not to also mention, like, we are getting a freaking Green Lantern show that is also stemming from this Superman movie as well. So there's a lot riding on this Superman film. I do think that, like, let's just say in a theory, which I don't think is going to happen, but let's say Superman failed at the box office. I still think there's other projects that are going to come out and all of that stuff, but this movie next year, in my opinion, I think this is the most important movie of 2025. And look, obviously Jerry and I are really anticipating the Fantastic Four. Jerry and I love the Fantastic Four. Hickman's Fantastic Four is one of the greatest comics of all time. But with that being said, we are the most excited for this Superman movie. Number one, because Jerry and I have literally walked with you guys through the casting rumors, through the fake freaking videotapes of David Cornsweet auditioning for Superman. We walked with you guys through James Gunn being announced as the head with Peter Safran. I mean, Jerry and I have walked with you guys through this whole process. And so, Superman for Jerry and I is really a payoff of the consistency of covering Superman for the past year or two. You know what I mean? So, this kind of a combination of everything that, we've been looking into. And I think, bro, that Superman is going to be one of the most special films that we are going to see. And when you hear that, the OG comic guys are in the writer's room with James Gunn, like, does that not make you guys excited?
Seriously. And, I also don't think people understand. With Flash, the haters kind of won. They kind of won in getting everyone to crap on the movie. But Superman's different because Superman has a lot of people very excited for this movie. Most people are excited for this movie to the extent where I would say it's probably 85-15 split of the people. 85% of the people super pumped for this movie. 15% haters, mostly Snyder fans. They don't have as much pull. And because most people are excited for this movie, the more they talk about it, it's going to actually help the movie.
Yeah, exactly. And the biggest thing is, Superman is one of the most popular characters of all time. Obviously, like, there's been a lot of Henry Cavill drama and all that crap that happened, but like Superman as a character, everybody knows who Superman is, like there's not one person that hasn't seen one Superman movie in their life. Like even my wife, bro, she grew up on the Donner films. Like everyone's seen one Superman film.
Right.
And so I think that Superman done right is going to bring that kind of popularity back to the character, where it's kind of going to like it is going to restore him as a powerhouse because Superman is a powerhouse, and a lot of people be hating on that, but like he's very very popular, bro. So yeah, dude, I am really hyped to see what they're gonna do with Superman. But yeah, all right, let's read some chats here. Good evening, gentlemen. Just saw the Superman and Lois ending. I cried. Oh, I'll say that. I'm definitely gonna check. That dropped today, right? Superman
Yeah,
and
see,
Lois ending.
I don't get it till tomorrow because I don't have cable TV.
Me either.
I'm like, why am I going to pay 200, 300, whatever it is? But I just bought the season on Amazon Prime, and I did it on Amazon Prime because the first episode that came out, I was able to get it on the Monday night that it dropped, and then I bought like the season, and then the next week when I went to do it, it wasn't available till Tuesday.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, dude. What also was annoying is Skeleton Crew drops today too, or it did drop, or it dropped at 9 o'clock. So it's like, and that's 3 episodes.
That's ridiculous. You know what it is? They know the Star Wars fans nowadays are at home, not working.
Yep. That was a good one. 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 Yeah, bro. I'm like, bro. So now we gotta cover these freaking 3 episodes. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. All right, let's see. Hot take: DC realistically has always had better characters overall. That is not a hot take. The only characters Marvel had that compared to DC were Spider-Man. Yeah, bro. DC has always had better characters, and that's fact.
I don't know if I agree with that. I know everyone says that, and I love DC, and I'm not one to generally pick one over the other, but I definitely read more Marvel comics. And a lot of people love to say DC comics are better than Marvel comics, but when you start asking them about what Marvel comics they've read, they usually haven't read very many, and they just stick to DC. I've seen that happen so many times.
Yeah.
Like even I finally got Stevie reading Avengers Hickman, and he was just
which is addictive. It's hitting like crack right now, brother.
It's so good. It's the best comic run of all time. But Stevie, you even said to me the other day, you were like, people don't realize how fire Marvel Comics is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Now, I think that Marvel makes better comics than from what I'm. It's like, guys, I am still in my road to Jerry's knowledge. So like, so far from what I've read, and I'm reading the absolute stuff, which is amazing. But I do think that Marvel is on another level. You know what I mean? We have Jonathan Hickman is. And you guys want to see, I'm about to become the biggest Jonathan Hickman glazer on this freaking space because my gosh, like the way, like, bro, no one in the world writes like that, man, bro. And like, and bro, it's hilarious because like I was watching like Avengers and I was like, man, like who writes better than this? And Hickman is just on another tier than anybody on planet Earth when it comes to Marvel characters. And like reading this Avengers run, I don't even want to read another one after this. I think I'm done after this run. I don't want to touch any more Avengers stuff because Hickman's that good, bro. And I feel like if I read someone else, it's just gonna I'm gonna keep comparing it. That's what I have to learn to like not do, bro, because his writing is so good, bro.
There are some other really good Avengers runs. I would say what I would recommend to you to read after this is actually read Secret Wars and then read Infamous Iron Man. Infamous Iron Man right after Secret Wars. And Infamous Iron Man is really good, dude. Obviously Secret Wars is like the swan song of that entire saga. And it is so incredible. I mean, I just finished rereading it. And it was, oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
But Civil War is amazing. Civil War is really good. I would say once you're done with the whole Infamous Iron Man, I would go to Civil War. But, I would say Jonathan Hickman is like the Christopher Nolan of comics. Like he just makes stories and his stuff. You can't compare it to anyone else.
I wouldn't say Nolan, but I get what you're saying.
It's true though.
But yeah, like I do think DC has better characters. So not the comics are way like the comics are fire for Marvel, but I think DC's characters are just I don't know, man. It's just I don't know. I'm a cape guy too, so when it comes to capes, like I'm sold. You know what I mean? That's just
See, like that kind of stuff is and I love aesthetic.
Yeah.
But it's totally secondary to me. To the story's got to be good, and that like comes first.
Yeah, but like when like if I was to compare the Justice League and the Avengers, like I think the Justice League are better. Like every person on the Justice League is a better character than anyone on the Avengers. That's just my opinion. The only two groups that I'll have a hard time finding a replacement for is the F4 and the X-Men, because those to me are the greatest Marvel characters of all time. So that's where I'm like, I don't know. Or the F4, the X-Men, and Spider-Man. But I feel like Spider-Man and Batman cancel out each other because they're both like just
Yeah, yeah.
powerhouses.
But I don't know. I just think that like
That would be a fun episode if like we actually like wrote out like the heroes and try to like compare.
yeah.
That'll be interesting.
I also think Marvel's superheroes are so unique in their own way.
Yeah.
And that's like taken for granted in that kind of argument. Like
But yeah.
Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, the Hulk, and you know how I feel about the Hulk, but he's definitely unique for a superhero. Like
In the comics, yeah, he's dope.
Yeah, all of their stuff is just so unique.
But what makes DC but what makes it so hard is DC's sidekicks are so freaking good, bro.
Yeah,
And DC sidekicks, and DC sidekicks are better than some of Marvel's main characters. And because like I'll take Damian Wayne over some people, bro. I'm gonna hold you, like, you know what I mean? It's like, and Nightwing is like such a dope character, and it's like there's like they have a plethora of characters that you can kind of go from, and you build an attachment because all those characters are connected to the main characters. You know what I mean? Like Robin became my favorite character because he's they're all Batman's sons. So it's like.
Yeah, I'm not that crazy about the Robins. I like Damian. I like Nightwing. I always mean to get around
Red Hood guy?
Nightwing comics. Red Hood's cool. Like
I thought you would be more of a Red Hood guy.
I think he's cool, but I also think it kind of gets played out. Like, he's definitely not like I would rank him third under. Under Nightwing and Damian. Under the Red Hood is an amazing comic. What's interesting about Under the Red Hood is it's so good and the text bubbles are so small. Like, it's so good and they get the characters like so perfectly, even though it has a lot less text than an average comic.
That's fair.
No.
Superman is very underappreciated. A lot of fans don't realize how important he is and what he represents in the comic book media. He is literally the definition of superhero. I 100% agree. Superman is one of the GOATs, bro. He is. Metamorpho. Yeah, he is in this. Metamorpho is in Superman. The only understandable thing I hear people say is I'm worried Gunn will make it goofy because of the movies he's done, which is a fair thing to say, but everything else I hear is just dumb. I don't even think that's fair either.
I actually disagree with that. I think that's I'm trying to word this correctly. It's that thought process is very reminiscent of typecasting. Like, typecasting isn't just limited to actors. I think it's limited to creators. And I think that like the movies that James Gunn made for Marvel, he was hired to do a very specific job. And DC, for the longest time, was managed so poorly that when they hired James Gunn, they were like, we were still doing we want what Marvel has. So give us what you gave Marvel. And now they hired him to do what Kevin Feige has done. So it's a much different job than what he's done before. I'm not saying I don't understand why people think that. I just think that it's typecasting, and I don't think that is the correct analysis of what's going on.
Yeah, and also what cooks that ideology that those people have is that when Kevin Feige hired the Russos, the only project they did before that was a show called The Community, which was a comedy. They had no experience.
I know the Community show.
They had no experience in superhero films whatsoever. And Feige gave the keys to those two dudes, and they created the best Marvel solo film of all time. You know what I mean? So, like, as and like a lot of people didn't know that, you know what I mean? Because they weren't like media wasn't popping, you know, like it is now. So like, you know, Marvel and people like like Feige and James Gunn, they are guys who are always going to take risk, you know what I mean? And the reality is that you're holding James Gunn to a film that he made that was supposed to be comedic and fun and lighthearted. You know what I mean? Like, because I mean, have y'all seen Brightburn? You know what I mean? Like, he's done some serious stuff, you know. But
Who'd you
now that
say?
James Gunn did Brightburn,
Did what?
it's called Brightburn.
Brightburn. Oh, okay.
I think he did that, right?
I don't even know.
Now I
What
have
it
to
is.
fact check. Yeah. James Gunn. Yeah, James Gunn did Brightburn, which is basically like a super serious, like child Superman going crazy type of
Yeah.
film. You know what I mean? So like he has some serious stuff. And look, that's not the best example, but I'm saying like he's done other stuff. And oh, man, you guys are gonna be in it for a trip, Superman. Oh, Jerry, here you go. I started reading Geoff John's Green Lantern because I remember you told
Yes.
me last week.
Yes. Love to hear it.
My casual girlfriend told me she will still watch the new Superman movie with me, even though she loves Henry Cavill, and was disappointed he's not coming back. LOL. That should tell you how popular Superman is. Yeah, bro. Henry Cavill Superman was universal, bro. He really was loved a lot.
Yeah.
When it comes to comics for DC, I only read Justice League, Batman, a little Superman, Flash, and Green Lantern. And for Marvel, just Spider-Man, Hulk, and Avengers. X-Men, I've only seen animation and the movies. Now, Jerry has told me about reading Hickman's X-Men. I would check that out if I was you. If you
Yeah.
haven't.
But
If you haven't yet.
you got to get the reading order right, because it, like, a lot of Hickman stories, like, he does two different runs at the same time, and you're supposed to go back and forth. He's actually done that with X-Men. He's done that with Fantastic Four. He's done that with Avengers. So whenever you're reading Jonathan Hickman, make sure you are looking up the reading order and getting it right. Otherwise, you're going to be lost. And like, Jonathan Hickman stories are so intricate and complex. Like, sometimes you don't want to be lost and because you're out of the wrong reading order, because sometimes you might be a little confused as it is.
Yeah, and if you go on the Marvel Unlimited app, what you do is you press the hero or group of heroes that you're trying to read, then you press the author.
Yeah.
So you press Hickman,
Or
and you'll get
search.
Yeah, or search, and you'll get the order with all of the issues, so you don't have to go back and forth. Because I was confused, because I'm like, why the heck is there like 4 different like cover like and brands going on? And then Jerry was like, yeah, because he writes, and then it made sense.
Yeah.
Because like the Fantastic Four comic started in like a whole other type of run, and I'm like, what the frick? I mean, it was so confusing. But when you read it, it'll all coincide together. Because geniuses are confusing. That's something I've learned. I'm not actually, because in Hickman's head, it probably all makes sense. But then when like someone's reading, they're like, what the frick is going on? Thank God for that app. I'm not, bro, so amazing. I'm not the biggest F4 guy. I like them, but I'm one of the few people who actually prefer the Avengers and Hulk over X-Men and F4 before the MCU. Hungry, did you read the Hickman Fantastic Four run by any chance? I sound like Jerry right now.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. Yeah.
I sound like you, bro. Yeah, have you read that run, man? Because if you read that run, you would not be saying that. I promise you, bro. I promise you. I liked the old DCEU, but it wasn't for the masses. And James will make a DC universe suitable for the masses. At least I think he will, from what we know. And I'm waiting. Yo, that's a very Pierre. If a lot of people that liked the DCEU had your take, you would have such a healthier fandom.
Seriously.
Because yes. Sorry, go ahead. What are you saying?
I was just saying, welcome to the chat.
The facts. Because bro, that is the thing. I feel like Snyder's, and Jerry liked it too. I feel like Snyder's DCEU was meant for a certain type of people. And it worked, whoever those people were, you know what I mean? And for people like us, or for like others who wanted more accurate depictions, like it only did so much, right? So yeah, you are right. But I will give the same way I give Nolan his credit, and it hurts my soul. I will always give Zack Snyder his credit, because it always takes someone to screw the pooch for someone to get it right. So, shout out to Zack Snyder for like trying his best. You know what I mean? Because like, as much as I think he's a lore killer, at least he tried it. Like, because the fact that the fact that we still got to see Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman on screen is fighting Doomsday is still an insane feat
Yeah,
at the end of the
yeah.
day. And the fact that we got that the same year as Civil War, come on now.
And by the way, that man got, you want to talk about visuals and aesthetic? That man had it nailed down.
Yeah.
He crushed it. All the suits were sick. All the shots were sick. Like, it did look fire. I sometimes, and I don't think he would take this the right way because, like, it's a demotion. But if Zack Snyder was a cinematographer, he would be like the greatest cinematographer ever.
Him and Matt Reeves, the way that they shoot that
Superhero.
cameraman is just different, bro.
But Matt Reeves, and I don't do this with the intention of taking credit away from him, but for the Batman, there is a cinematographer that got a lot of credit that people said it was really him. So yeah, and he like had new lighting techniques that have never been done before, which is how
Fraser.
Yeah, people say that guy was the one that like really made the Batman look the way it did.
We need him to do Brave and the Bold for sure. We need him on Brave and the Bold.
You know, I really like him, but I do think the Brave and the Bold needs to look visually different from the Batman. I think that's important.
Yeah, but I think it will because it's going to be fantastical. But I think the color grading is just that's just Batman, bro. Like, I don't think that should change, you know. And like, oh my god, bro, like that's some of the best cinematography I've ever seen in my life from the freaking Batman.
You know what they should do?
What's
and
up?
Andy Muschietti made the Flash, but like the way the Batcave looked and like the shot,
Yeah,
that's the kind of stuff we need for
the Flash movie. So our cinematographer for the Flash was Henry Bram. Yeah, that would be another guy that would be perfect to do the cinematography for honestly all the DCU films, to be honest, because he landed that lighty look. And I mean, even Wayne Manor, that was beautiful, bro. When freaking Sasha Calle Supergirl is standing on the roof, I love that scene. And she's getting the sun to gain her powers. That's a really fun scene to me. All right, let's read some more chats, then we'll get back to the next topic. We read that. I like the old. We read that. Nah, never read F4 in my life. LOL. But I'll check out Hickman. I've always been a Spidey Hawk Avengers guy. X-Men only seen through animation movies, but I love Doom from Twilight. Dude, if you read that F4, man, it's going to change your life. I promise you. How do y'all feel about Rob Hardy being the cinematographer? I saw that Rob Hardy joined that on, I think it was Gunverse. Post that. Let's see some of his projects. Rob Hardy movies. Let's see. So Rob Hardy did. Oh, he didn't do a lot. Wait, this is the wrong Rob Hardy, bro.
Yeah, this is definitely not the guy.
Yeah, bro. He did Stomp the Yard. That's not the Oh, he did the Vampire. Oh, he did Vampire Diaries and House of Dragon. Oh, yeah, he'll be good. House of Dragon is like one of my favorite shows of all time.
Oh, so, he did Civil War. I need to watch that. I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, bro. He has some great movies under his belt, bro. Yeah, bro. This guy will be perfect. Yeah, he's fine. He's proven. And honestly, like the color grading isn't going to be that far from Superman anyway. Animation and Secret Wars, the comic bet. B&B, if you watch things like Son of Batman or the Batman 2003, if they can find that type of tone and color grading but in live action, that could work. Also get Batman wise. Bro, Son of Batman is one of my favorite animated movies of all time. And Batman 2003, yeah, they're all good. I agree. That color grading would be perfect as well. All right, next topic. I'm gonna move this down. I don't want to talk about Star Wars right now because I'm kind of in a bad mood. Okay, next topic here. Who was Pedro Pascal with? Okay, now I really don't want to talk about this because I feel but we are because it literally went viral. Like I posted a TikTok about it and I got 100,000 views, which was freaking insane. So Pedro Pascal, a picture was posted. It wasn't posted by Pedro Pascal, but someone at the dinner. Like they had a rapping party, and so the face was covered. And then what a lot of people are linking it to is a few days ago, on the set of, or a week ago on the Fantastic Four set, a person was being covered, and they were walking into the into one of the Fantastic Four sets that they were doing, And so there's been a lot of names about who they think it is. Like, some people said RDJ, which I really don't think so. I don't think that's RDJ. The one that I'm going with, a lot of people think is Ian Garuffin, the guy that played Mr. Fantastic back in the day. That's what a lot of
Yeah,
people are starting to say
his
now.
name's pronounced weird. Hold on.
Yeah, is it Gruffin or Gruffin? I'm pretty sure it's Ian Gruffin because
It's
that's what
not
somebody said on
Ian.
TikTok.
I've looked it up. It's Yoan. Yoan.
Yoan Gruffin.
Yeah,
Oh.
I know it's so annoying. But
Yeah, yo, we butcher names so bad on this show.
yeah,
So we
yeah.
we don't. It's nothing personal. We just suck. We're just Americans, dude. We suck at these
And I
names.
think it's Gruffin. And yeah, and by the way, people are like, "Oh, you didn't get the name right," or like, no one ever actually called me out for this, but I kind of. So I used to say Namor, and I called him Namor for the longest time. And then I found out his name was Namor, and I saw someone else criticizing someone else for getting the name right. Bro, I read comics, okay? I might be a YouTuber, but I don't really watch YouTube that much. So like when you're reading a comic, I don't know if you know this, but you don't hear the pronunciation. It's a book,
Exactly.
bro.
You make it up in your mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
Like,
I always read it as Namor, and it doesn't make someone stupid or because they didn't get the name right when they're reading a damn comic, you stupid. Anyway.
Also, bro, in Wakanda Forever, he says Namor.
Yes,
So,
yes. Well, I think that was because they were trying to make it like
a Hispanic,
Aztec and Hispanic,
Hispanic type thing, yeah.
So yeah, technically, I'm right now. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Ryan Coogler.
yeah.
So I really don't want to dive into who this person was because it's just so many stupid theories. But I wanted you to talk about your Mole Man thing.
Oh, so Molecule Man, not Mole
Oh,
Man.
sorry, Molecule Man. My bad, bro.
What I think that the secret character that's going to be in Fantastic Four is Molecule Man. So Molecule Man is responsible for setting off all the incursions, basically, because the Beyonders planted Molecule Men in each universe to be set off as a bomb to cause the incursions. And that's how the incursions set off. Now, what's interesting is Dr. Doom learns this. And when Dr. Doom learns this, he absorbs, he takes Molecule Man's power and he becomes
Of course he
God
does.
Emperor Doom. And when he has the godlike power, he takes patches of dying Earths and forms Battle World. And then there's a lot of stuff that happens in Battle World and Secret Wars. Long story short, well, I guess not long story short because I can't do the whole thing, but Dr. Doom learns this. He takes Molecule Man's power. He creates Battle World, and that's how we get into Secret Wars. But Reed also has a friendship with Molecule Man and knows Owen Reese. So, everyone's been talking about, is Dr. Doom going to be in Fantastic Four? I think Dr. Doom is probably going to have a post-credit at most. But it's very probable that Molecule Man is going to be in the Fantastic Four movie. And this is where Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, and Molecule Man's relationship could begin.
Fair. I agree. And I think that whoever that guy is in that photo, it's going to show something that's very interesting in the movie. So
yeah,
we shall see.
Also, one thing that everyone needs to understand is that this photo is on the internet by design. It's not an accident. It wasn't another actor taking the picture, blurring the face out, and having fun at his own discretion. This is something that Kevin Feige 100% approved and knew about, and they wanted us talking about this right now. 100% not an accident.
Yep. And it is with the premise that people think is RDJ. That's the whole point. People like Feige wants that. Now, can I tell you something else that someone did that I thought was funny? And if true, your whole theory about the whole family thing is true. So a lot of people were looking at the jeans that the guy wore that they were sneaking into the Fantastic Four facility, and those were and apparently, don't get hyped because I don't know how And
I
low
think I
key,
saw this.
it could be true, but they said that they were the same jeans that Tom Holland's Peter Parker wore in Spider-Man No Way Home. And they matched the actual jean to like the jeans that he wears in No Way
No.
Home. And they were like, that's Tom Holland's jeans.
See, that's an accident. That I believe is an accident. They were hiding them. I saw the video. You know, I'm kind of torn because as much as I would like, in the same way that I would like a Spider-Man movie where Peter is in his New York element, I would love a Fantastic Four movie where it's just the four of them, no kids, no other Fantastic Future Foundation characters. I don't think that's what I'm starting to think that's not what we're getting. I started thinking that as soon as I heard the title, Fantastic Four First Steps. First steps could mean one of two things, or maybe it means both. First steps for the children, being born, taking their first steps, or first steps on the moon in outer space or something like that. But both could be true at once. The other thing here is that that very well could have been Tom Holland. And if Spider-Man's in this movie, which it's probable because they've been dragging their feet through so many mid MCU movies that like we're at this point pretty close to Avengers Doomsday. And what other movies do they have to push that big story forward where they need big crossover characters in their big movies?
Yeah. There's also going to be, and this is what the rumor is. So I don't want to say rumor. There's also a rumored time jump because apparently it's like Franklin's born, Galactus pulls up, like this kid is powerful. And then apparently,
I don't think that's a rumor based on what Kevin Feige has said.
So
remember he said so.
Did Feige say it?
They released some postcards.
Yeah,
at some
I forget.
point,
I forget.
And it was like, and there was a city skyline, and I remember hearing it on the on the Marvel podcast. Kevin Feige said, that doesn't look like modern day New York City. And Kevin Feige said those fans are very smart because that would probably be correct.
So there's going to be some type of time jump.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So and if that's true, then maybe like the foundation isn't there at first. Then maybe after the time jump in there, and I don't know, something's going on fishy with that movie, but we shall see, brother. I mean, I'm so shocked we have yet to see a trailer, which is ridiculous, to me at least. Like, but they did wrap filming, I think today. So
wasn't there a movie a couple of years ago that like they didn't release the first trailer until like 2 months before the movie was coming out?
I remember.
I remember like everyone freaking out about it at the time.
Which about Marvel?
Yeah. MCU movie had the latest trailer.
Yeah, what was it? I'm trying to think.
To the movie. Checking right now. Ooh. Deadpool and Wolverine, they're saying it was, and the teaser premiered during the Super Bowl,
right? They did do it late. They did do
which
it
is
late.
5 months before the film's released.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty late.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going by that, I think Fantastic Four is supposed to come out in June or July. Yeah. It's very probable we don't get the trailer until the Super Bowl,
or maybe until Brave New World. Or until Brave New World, like maybe the Fantastic Four trailer is like right before Brave New World. Honestly, maybe January.
That would be the way to do it. That would be the way to do it. The Brave New World. I
agree. Would it be shocked if they pull something? Well, what if it's a New Year's drop? That would be nuts.
What if the trailer is all Smash Mouth?
I hate you for that. That's an inside joke between him and I.
Yeah. Oh man.
And now that you said it, I get why you said
it. Yeah. Especially talking about Deadpool and Wolverine.
You were like, what?
I had no idea what you were talking about.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, you're funny. But yeah, so I mean, it would be crazy though if the Fantastic Four trailer does drop in like January 1st or Christmas Day. That'd be nuts. But they already dropped the teaser at Comic Con, so they should just drop that teaser. I mean, and they were same thing with Daredevil, bro. We already saw it, so stop playing games, just drop it, bro. Like, come on, dog. But we'll see. All right, let's see. We got some chats. Let's see. There we go. Do you guys agree with this statement? I had a debate with my friend about this, and he did not agree. X-Men is more popular than the Avengers, but the Avengers have more popular individual heroes over the X-Men. I knew about the X-Men before I knew who the Avengers were.
100%. But I do agree at this point, like the individual Avengers are more popular. And I'm sure if you looked at it by comic book sales, that would be accurate too.
Yeah.
You know, what's interesting though is that like if you go into a comic book shop, maybe right now it might be a little different. I don't know. But actually, like you go to the Marvel new releases section and half the wall is X-Men Mutant Comics. It's crazy. And they just kicked off like a new era for X-Men, and there are so many different comic books. And it's not even a lot compared to previous eras. I'm sure they have other ones coming, but like, I mean, there's so many. I mean, there's like probably between 5 and 10 already. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know how people keep up with all of it.
That might change though, man, in the next like 10 years, bro. If the MCU X-Men hits, bro, this could take the MCU by storm. It really could. I mean, the X-Men and the Fantastic Four being successful really prolongs the MCU's life for a long time. And if you're bringing, and let's just say theoretically, if they do bring back, like, you know, freaking, let's say RDJ does come back or something, or recast it, T'Challa, ScarJo comes back, and all these people, like, it really prolongs the life of Marvel for a minute.
Yeah.
A while.
T'Challa has a pretty big role in the Secret Wars too, by the way.
Hey, I'm not ruling it out that T'Challa might be back before this. I'm not ruling it out at all.
By the way, if they brought T'Challa back in Secret Wars as a surprise, Marvel, like, come on. I mean, that is the type of thing that would push it. That's the type. You need to do things like that to push that $2 billion marker.
100%. By the way, Aldous Hodge has a new show on Amazon Prime. I want to see. It's like a detective show. I'm probably going to check it out soon.
Dope.
I heard it was good, but I haven't watched it yet. But all right. There's a lot of rumors that the Superman trailer will come out this month. Yeah, I heard about that as well. So
no, I think James Gunn confirmed that.
Yeah, he said it was done. I don't think he said it was coming out this month, though. I think.
No, I'm pretty sure you said it.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
Count me in. Christmas Day, make it happen. Hey, drop the Fantastic Four and the Superman trailer on Christmas Day. Shoot, make us work on Christmas Day.
For all we know, Marvel's just waiting for Superman to drop, and they're just gonna be like, boop.
That would be funny, bro. That would be funny, like the next day.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Craven 8-minute clip. So Aaron Taylor John, or the Craven brand, whatever, they dropped an 8-minute clip today.
I can't believe they did that.
Bro, did you like watch it?
No, I forgot to. I'm so mad.
It's crazy. Okay, so the clip is basically just Craven in jail, and basically he kills like the mob boss there and he escapes. But it's insane. Like the action is wild. He's doing these wall crawls and bear crawls, and super speed, super strength. The bullets are shooting, and he can hear the bullets coming. And he's dodging them while he's running. Like the way that they're portraying Craven to have all these animal like instincts is very impressive. And like for me, personally, right, I come into Craven just wanting a fun action movie. I'm not like, I do think it's stupid because Spider-Man isn't in it, but I'm approaching it saying, hey, this is a fun action movie. Russell Crowe was in it. Like, let's just have fun. And it looks fun so far. It looks fun for what it is, you know?
And Aaron Taylor Johnson, like this, if this movie does well, like this guy could be put on the map in ways that people aren't ready for. And, you know, I also think that I think they believe in this movie. I don't think the director would have said, hey, you know, I know you haven't liked Sony, however he worded it. The effect was, hey, I know you guys don't like the Sony spinoff movies. Give this one a chance. I think you're going to like it. I don't think he would have said that, because if he does say it and most people don't like the movie, he's going to look like it. Not only will his credibility as a filmmaker be shot, but his credibility would even be worse because he said something like that. I also think that they put the 8 minutes out because they're like, listen, we believe in this movie and we're willing to show you that it looks good and we think you're gonna like it. So here's 8 minutes. That's what I think that was.
100%. And it was great. Or not great. It was good. I liked it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. So yeah, that was pretty much the whole 8-minute review. It was just like a bunch of action and fighting, very violent. So hey man, I'm excited to see what more they're going to do. There was a little wild thing was that when so when he ran into the blizzard or whatever, a plane picked him up and they laid down a body that looked exactly like him, which is wild. Like it looked exact tattoos and everything. So I wonder who that is.
That's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. So yeah, okay. Now you did a TikTok about Avengers Doomsday, and I wanted you to kind of dive into that a little bit because I had a couple of questions too based off of your TikTok.
Okay, so basically, what I think is going to happen in Avengers Doomsday is I think it's basically going to be like the first issue of Secret Wars, which is, and maybe the end of the Avengers saga from Time Runs Out. Basically, in the Avengers saga, what happens is Tony forms the Illuminati to build something, and he does this behind Captain America's back. He does it because he knows that they are going to try to do something that Cap would never stand for. And this is because in an incursion, two Earths collide. Either both of them explode and die, or one survives. So Tony knows the incursions are coming, and he wants to make sure that their Earth is the one that survives. So he forms the Illuminati, and Reed makes the antimatter injection system. The antimatter injection system was designed to be a device that they planned on the other Earth before the collision to explode that Earth so the collision doesn't happen. And they ended up, who was it? I think it was, none of them had the balls to use the device except for Namor. Obviously, it would be him.
Savage.
Yeah, Savage.
Always.
So he does that. I don't want to give away everything that happens in that comic book, but it's pretty incredible, worth reading, best comic run of all time. And then it goes into Secret Wars. And in Secret Wars, it starts off with the final incursion, which is between the main 616 Earth, where the Marvel Universe lives, is on 616. And then at the time, there was an Ultimate Universe, not the one that started with the Ultimate Spider-Man recently and the Ultimate Invasion. It was the Ultimate Universe from back in the day, and that was Earth 1610. So you actually had two Reed Richards. You had Reed Richards from 616, but you also had the Maker Reed Richards from 1610. And a lot of fallout happened in that issue because basically Reed also created this something called the Raft. And in the Raft, it was designed to carry other people off the Earth while it was dying. And Reed ends up losing his entire family because the Raft doesn't make it to the ship in time. But yeah, so I think that the Doomsday is in reference to that incursion. The Earth 616, the MCU Earth, is going to have an incursion. It's the last incursion in the series of incursions from the Molecule Men exploding. And Doomsday is literally in reference to this Doomsday event. And what made me start thinking this way is because I was rereading Secret Wars, and I noticed in that issue, it kept referring to this incursion as a Doomsday event. So I think it's going to be Avengers Doomsday. I think it's going to be the final incursion. And at the very end of Avengers Doomsday, I'm sure we'll see Doctor Doom creating the battle world, and that'll take us into Secret Wars.
So with that being said, and I said this last week, and now this is ringing more true in my mind. Pedro Pascal, Reed in Fantastic Four First Steps, the Illuminati has to pop up in that movie somehow.
So I don't know if the Illuminati is going to pop up in that movie, considering there's a time jump. You know, I think I think that it might happen separately, but the Illuminati, they could technically do it without the Illuminati because they could have Reed just work on the device by himself.
Because the TVA could take the spot of them.
Or the TVA. I don't know. The TVA is pretty sinister. So, but this is also one of those things where it's a matter of perspective. Some people might agree with Captain America's outlook. I almost always agree with Captain America. Not on this one. I think you're very hard pressed to find a situation where Captain America is wrong. This one, I think he's dead wrong. Like, dude, we're either all gonna die or some of us are gonna live. Like, but you have to keep in mind that they made Avengers Infinity War without Adam Warlock and without Death. And for those of you that don't understand the significance of that, in the comics, Thanos wanted to wipe out half the population, not just because of the finite resources and the equal balance of things. He also wanted to court Lady Death, and he wanted to do this to impress her. So, it's funny because in Avengers Infinity War, like Thanos, for such a significant villain, he was so simple-minded. Like, he was just like, equilibrium, all things need balance. Yep. We have to kill half the world. Like, that was it. That simple. And removing Death, I think, was, as much as I think Infinity War is the greatest comic book movie of all time, I love it. I think they should have added Death, number one. Number two, they also didn't have Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock was the one who defeats Thanos in the end. So to do it without Adam Warlock and Death are pretty significant. And what that precedent tells us about something like this is they will keep the structure of the story, but they might swap, remove different characters or components, meaning they might build the antimatter injection system without the Illuminati, or they might use the TVA and call it something completely different to serve a similar purpose, and the anchor being concept, I also think is kind of an indicator that they are going to take some creative liberties here.
Yeah.
Because the anchor being thing is not, comic accurate to this story.
Yeah. Yeah. Secret Wars is definitely, like, as it is probably going to be the biggest superhero event of all time that we've seen to date. There's no doubt about that. I do think is also a vehicle to get them to a universe where everyone is there. The Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, like, it's also going to be used as that as well. And that's kind of on the low end, because the high end is obviously the movie itself. So
some people die, though. You have to keep.
People
a lot of big characters
will die.
Yeah,
but I do think that, as you said, right, there's going to be a lot of creative liberties that's going to be taken for the ending to be the way it is. Yeah. The same way with Avengers Endgame. Like, Endgame is really its own thing. I mean, it really is, but it worked. But Endgame works to make the story work, and also, and it's the perfect intro into the multiverse, I think.
In the end, it's Franklin who births other universes to build the world up again. And, they do, like, the ending of Secret Wars isn't Fallout. Like, it actually does have an ending where you see hope again, which it has to be because Marvel wanted to sell comics after Secret Wars. So they had to keep the story going, and by the way, for all the infamous Iron Man, it's going to be infamous Iron Man. Infamous Iron Man comes after Secret Wars. Boom.
Yo, that would be fire, though. If they do an RDJ infamous Iron Man after Secret Wars, that would be fire. Wouldn't be shocked if they did that, bro, to be honest.
Especially when you see what happens with Dr. Doom at the end of Secret Wars, because that's pretty crazy, too.
Yeah.
Dude,
but oh my god, what if like Comic-Con, like at like the year Secret or the year after Secret, the year after it's over, they do an infamous Iron Man freaking banner. Oh, fans will go insane, bro.
I would lose my mind over.
Yeah, that would be
my mind. And they actually could do it because they're going to be focused on the X-Men anyway. They may as well like go all out. You know, I also think like I think fans jumped onto the idea of a reboot when Marvel was putting out mid movies. And if 2025 goes as planned, like I don't think the reboot talk is going to be as popular as it was a year ago.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, there's going to be like a universe reboot because of what happens after Secret Wars, but I don't think it's going to be like a reboot. And I don't really like that word. You know, also like they're planning on bringing in the X-Men. They didn't just hire Pedro Pascal to be Reed Richards to reboot, you know.
Oh yeah, he's going to be the guy. I mean, he's going to be the guy. It's just facts.
Yeah. And Tom Holland signed up for like another 3 or 6 movies, something like that. They're not making 3 Spider-Man movies before Secret Wars, okay?
Yeah, exactly. And also, bro, like they brought back like 1 second. It's TikTok making me do this stupid thing to stay alive. There we go. And also, as you said, right, they brought back RDJ, number 1. Number 2, as you said, they brought in Pedro Pascal. Tom Holland just signed on for another. I mean, bro, they're looking to really make a big run, you know, once these guys hit the freaking screen, you know. And after watching Gladiator and seeing, you know, Pedro acting, all that stuff, the dude is just a really popular celebrity and actor. So, you know, I do think that like he's going to bring a lot of attention to the Fantastic Four, and I just hope that the portrayal is done right. And also, please use Franklin in these Avengers films. Franklin is so slept on, and I know that there's a rumor, and I said this last week, that Quaid might be playing that, you know, Franklin. If that's true, I will lose my mind. But Franklin, man, that is, and I do think he's going to play a big role because he is going to be in the Fantastic Four First Steps film. So,
right,
yeah, man, I'm really hyped to see what they're going to do with Franklin. But I do wonder how they're going to treat him after Secret Wars, because Marvel does have a hard time of handling very powerful characters. You know, like Captain Marvel wasn't handled the greatest way. Thor was also not handled well. So I hope that they handle Franklin well after Secret Wars, you know, to where he's not, you know, just cast out to the side, because that's what Feige tends to do with powerful like characters.
Yeah, and you know, I also feel like Franklin Richards needs his own comic book run. Like they've never done that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And you know, he's like always just like an add-in for Fantastic Four stories, whereas he could really be his own superhero.
Oh, dude, he could do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
All right, let's read some chats. Let's see. I think after Secret Wars, Marvel will stop making Avengers movies for a while. They still will be in the universe, but will only be used for stories like World War Hulk, House of M, Judgment Day, etc.
I disagree, and I'll tell you why. The Avengers title just carries so much money with it that like there's no way that I do think they want to make the focus X-Men movies after Secret Wars, but there's just no way they're going to stop making Avengers movies, bro. They make so much money.
Don't be shocked if like Avengers versus X-Men is like off the rip, because like I'm just saying, like after Secret Wars, if you do Avengers versus X-Men, $1 billion film right there, automatic, bro. With Tom Holland in that joint, come on now.
It's not the right story to tell for the first big X-Men movie.
Yeah, but Feige, bro. Feige might do it, bro. He want the bread. No, not the first X-Men film, but I'm saying like the next Avengers film. So like,
okay, yeah.
I'm saying like
they need like the X-Men to stand on their own before just
not like first film after Secret Wars, but I'm saying like after like 1 or 2 X-Men films, that Avengers movie is Avengers versus X-Men. Count me in, bro. Count me in.
That title people just love that comic because of the title alone. Not that the comic's bad, but I think there's a lot of people out there, and I know you have read it and you loved it, but I do think there's a lot of people out there on Twitter that have never read it that are like, oh, we need Avengers versus X-Men, because like the title sounds cool.
Yeah, bro. Wolverine be getting done dirty in that joint, bro. Wolverine got did dirty. But yeah, bro, that movie is that, or when that happens, that's going to be. I think that could probably be the. I think that will take Endgame probably the highest grossing superhero film of all time.
By the way, Cyclops is also in Secret Wars.
Yeah,
Almost everyone is. Like,
yeah,
that's what's so crazy about it.
yeah.
You know,
It's going to be a special movie.
you have to keep in mind that I know it's like a patchwork world, but at the same time, it is an alternate world where things are very different. And I think that Marvel is going to have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, I agree, bro. That's the thing that's hard. That's the thing. It won't be a hard reboot, but a soft reboot that allows for Avengers, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, and all the same universe. Exactly.
Yeah.
Soft reboot. Yep. Exactly. Just like you said, Avengers versus X-Men is too marketable, hence why a soft reboot, so that we can have characters like Iron Man and in the Avengers to do a movie like that. 100%. 100%. And also, don't be shocked if RDJ comes back as Iron Man. We are in the safety era at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Jerry, a lot of these topics today were kind of like inspired by your threads and your TikToks. So you sent me a DM about Miles Morales, which really pissed me off, bro. I was actually really mad. I know you were too. No. It's fine because we share the burdens of this stupid fandom that we are a part of sometimes. Like I share that burden with you because these people are idiots. So, what really pissed me off was why people do not like Miles Morales, and I've had debates with people, you have had as well. Some people just think that, Peter Parker is the definitive Spider-Man, etc. So what is your view on this Miles Morales hate and why people don't like him? And where do you stand in all this?
I just think it's pure racism. I think Miles Morales is objectively an awesome character. Like, if you're going to tell me you love comic books and comic book movies and you don't like Batman, like, I'm just going to be like, wow. It's the same thing. Like, Miles Morales is objectively an awesome character. He's cool as hell. He's like the perfect new Spider-Man. And that doesn't mean that Peter Parker isn't Spider-Man. It just means Miles Morales is also Spider-Man, And like, when I saw that, like, comment, like, oh, it's enough Miles Morales. Like, bro, we've had 2 movies and like 1 video game. What do you mean it's too much Miles Morales? Like,
yeah.
But if you were racist, like, it might be too much Miles Morales for you. And that's how I saw it,
Yeah, 100%.
I called him out on it.
Yeah, bro. I feel like there's like a big tribalism that goes on with all of this stuff as well, because I found myself catching hell because the new Harry Potter reboot is happening, right? And I said that this is perfect because, we grew up with Harry Potter. Now our kids, our nieces, nephews, sons, and daughters, right? They get to experience, their Harry Potter the same way our kids, our nieces and stuff, when they have this MCU reboot, they're coming into fandom with the X-Men, with Superman, Batman, Brave and the Bold, saying how it's good to continue these stories. And what I got was, why are they doing this? This is too soon. This is not why content is made. When has it been a crime to reboot stories and make new characters?
It's always, people all have their like own agenda and ulterior motives for why they don't like something. And it's like, judge the content and the characters on themselves, not like some BS. It's so ridiculous. And it goes both ways. Like people on the left who don't like J.K. Rowling, or, people on the right who are, don't like Miles Morales, or Sam Wilson, or people on the right and the left who don't like Sabra. Like, it's just like, it's so ridiculous, and it's so obvious. Like, everyone knows it. And, I think that it's just like so insane to me that these people think that like anyone takes them seriously or anyone buys into their like ridiculous arguments. Like, it's like, try telling me you don't like Batman. Like, explain that, or explain to me what you don't like about Miles Morales, please. I'd love to hear it.
100%, because The comics have been good, and also like the Spider-Verse movies is like still putting some of the best Spider-Man movies of all time, like some of the best superhero films of all time. Like, what can you say to make that movie trash?
Especially because like they are the perfect. It's like the ultimate concept of a comic book movie. It's like it's insane. It's like watching a comic book in a movie. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know how any like those movies are so good and everyone loves them. And if you're gonna tell me like, oh, it's too much Miles Morales, like, yeah, it's too much Miles Morales because you don't like him because he's black.
yeah,
That's what it
exactly,
is, you
exactly, bro.
know?
And it's like, and the Spider-Verse movies honor Peter Parker's legacy. Like the whole first Spider-Verse movie is honoring Peter Parker's story.
Yeah,
Not to mention the whole point of Across the Spider-Verse, the road that Miles is going is leading into Peter Parker's story, which is losing the person that is most important to him. Like that's the whole point is Miles following in Peter's footsteps. So how does that dishonor Peter Parker? And bro, and
right.
that's what I don't understand. Like the comic writers have made a theme that every Spider-Man goes through the same thing. So like, how is that dishonoring of a character?
Seriously. And
It's
it's
not
also
fair.
like you know, I forget what I was gonna say, but these so when it's like, oh, it's not my Spider-Man, or oh, he's not Captain America, you sound just as ridiculous who are like, oh, he's not my president. Well, actually, if you're a United States citizen, he is your president. If if Marvel says Miles Morales is Spider-Man, he's Spider-Man. Like it's not up to you. You're muted.
The same way we had to stomach Shuri being the Black Panther. We don't like it, but we
Yeah,
still have to say it.
I
It is
didn't
what it is.
I didn't write not my Black Panther. Like
Yeah, no, we
in
just ate it
25.
and just had to deal with it. Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean? So like, and look, even though we're not the biggest fans of Shuri as Black Panther, that suit fire.
Yeah,
that
and I
suit,
still I
yeah,
still said I think she did as good of a job as she could have in that
100%. She
movie.
didn't do a bad job.
Yeah. You know, well, it's just like ridiculous. It's so
Yeah,
ridiculous. And no, let me tell you, everyone sees right through you. And like it being racist, let me tell you, is really a bad look. Like you should be embarrassed.
100%. 100%. All right, let's see. I have no problem with Miles. I just hate when people say that Peter Parker needs to die to make Miles the main Spidey. Like the new Spider-Man game, for example. I don't want the creators killing off Peter just to make Miles the main Spider-Man. Love Peter and Miles, just don't kill off Peter.
It's fair. I don't think they're going to kill Peter off, but I
Yeah.
do think they hinted at, like, at the end of the game, Peter taking off for a bit. And it does seem like, but who knows? Because supposedly they're talking about Spider-Man 3 and they're calling it Endgame. I would like to see another Miles game before we get that. But Spider-Man 2, actually, to be completely fair, Spider-Man 2 was a Miles game. So, like, Miles shared that game with Peter. The only problem I had with that game is the third act. Like, I thought the story was good, and that the third act, when like everyone became Venom to the
That was
extent,
kind of
like,
cool. Yeah, that was cool.
I thought that was whack. I hated it.
Really? I thought that
Yeah,
was fire.
bro.
When you're
Oh,
swinging through and you're fighting all those freaking symbiotes, I thought that was fun.
that was cool. But like when MJ became Scream, I was like, okay, this is a little redundant. Like, come on, you know. Yeah.
Oh, you're funny. Yeah. I, I'm laughing because I can just see like, oh, three. I gotta knock her down 3 times. That's how I felt. Like I
Yeah,
gotta
that's
I gotta hit him
exactly how
three
I felt.
times. Yeah, that was annoying.
I actually, you know what I did? You're gonna fucking crack up when I tell you this.
But
So I sometimes, if I really don't like a part of a game, I change the difficulty to super easy just to get through it as fast as I can. My time is valuable,
bro,
bro.
in Hungry, you're right, bro. MJ was very overpowered, dude. I got beat by her like 4 times before I actually beat it. Craven was hard too, bro. Or no, yeah. Craven was hard, bro.
Bro, Craven
Beating
is
him,
so cool.
he is dope. And then when you freaking become the freaking Venom symbiote, you just beat the living daylights out of Craven. It's like, bro.
Oh, and by the way, you could also make the case that for a while, Miles Morales comics have been better than Peter Parker comics.
100%. You can. You can. Yeah, man. The hate's just nasty. The hate's just
Yeah.
nasty, bro. Hate's nasty. We got to stop that. Okay, now I want to talk about this.
Oh, and I want to say one thing on that also. Like, I see a lot of people that only call out hate when it's on the other side politically. And when you do that, not that this is what the show is about, but since we did just talk about it, when you do that, it shows that for as much as you care about hate, your bigger priority is your politics. Because if you won't call out hate when it's on your side, also, you're putting politics above hate. And that is also weak and whack. We'll call it out on both the left and the right here.
Yeah, lack of consistency.
Yeah.
And we hold very consistent values, like
Yep.
through and through. As
100%.
I said, like, because we could have just bashed Shuri the whole time, but we admit Wakanda Forever is not a bad movie, bro. And it's just facts.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the concept. I always say
here. Namor was amazing, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've even posted about how much I loved Namor in that movie. I really did. I think that's one of the best Marvel casts ever.
And Wakanda is one of the most like visually beautiful places ever created in a superhero film of all time.
It really is. It looks so sick in that movie.
And to be honest, I thought that what is it called? What is Thor's home? It's not coming to my mind.
Asgard.
Yeah. I thought Asgard was like the most beautiful place for a while. And Thor Dark World, it really had me because it felt like in the first Thor, Asgard was so empty. And then when you go into Thor Dark World, like everybody's there. It's a city. Like, oh my God, I love Asgard. But Wakanda definitely takes the cake for like the best place for sure.
For sure. You're going to love what they do with Asgard and Thor in Secret Wars. It's wild. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm hyped to see what they're going to do on that Fantastic Four Earth too, with that 60s vibe. I'm really like.
Oh, I meant the comic.
Oh, in the comic? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check it out. It's on my list, man. It's on my list. All right.
I know. Well, you got to get through Avengers, which is why I'm not giving you any comic recommendations until you're done.
Yes, sir. All right. Absolute. All right. Now, I really want to talk about this because Absolute Wonder Woman had the highest selling comic, I think, for November or something like that. I want to talk about DC in general because right now they are destroying numbers wise in comics. Jared, why is it that DC is cooking right now, comic wise?
So they got a lot of attention from Absolute Batman. It's funny because a lot of the things that everyone's been super excited for Absolute Batman for a while, but I think that the stars really aligned in terms of Absolute Batman hype. And when people were criticizing how big Bruce Wayne was in terms of bulk or how much they hated the Batman logo, you know what it did? It made everyone talk about the comic that much more, and it put it to the number one highest selling comic of the year at 400,000 copies. And I'm pretty sure that number is before all the reprints. So a lot of times what they'll do when a comic sells out, they'll do a reprint and reissue the comic. Yeah. And I think they're on their like fourth one already for this comic book. It's insane. So what you have to understand is people are probably like, well, why does this Batman look so different? Why does he have such a different logo? And then people found out what Absolute Batman really was about. It's an alternate universe Batman, and he doesn't have the money. Alfred isn't his butler. He's a city engineer, and he put his own equipment together. And people were like, that sounds really cool. And then they read it, and then they found out about Absolute Wonder Woman and Absolute Batman also being alternate versions of the characters. And I think that they marketed this thing really well. And I don't know if the logo design and things like that were intentional to get people talking. I wouldn't put it past them. They are creatives. They know what they're doing. But I do think that the criticism that the logo took actually helped them. And, what's interesting to me about it is that the Marvel's Ultimate Universe, we're a year into, and it got hyped, don't get me wrong, and people talk about it a lot, but not like Absolute. And Ultimate is just as cool. Like, it's awesome. But DC really played their cards right, and Absolute is just on fire.
Yeah. I think that YouTube also played a really big part because a lot like I watch a lot of comics explain because he just puts comics into like a 30-minute thing. It just helps me get a lot of more context. 'Cause, like, which sometimes when I read these stories, I'm a little like confused, so I'll kind of go back. So like with some Fantastic Four stuff, right? He literally just did a whole, and which is funny because he literally dropped a whole. Let me see. I'll look at YouTube. He dropped the video literally 8 days ago. Hickman's Fantastic Four reading guide. And Comics Explained is just like you. He's a Hickman junkie, but though, but like, so I always go back and watch like some stuff that I'm a little confused about, but. I've been watching a lot of his videos. Haven't been doing like crazy on views. Like he always gets like over like 100K. But like when he did Absolute Batman, it did 1 million in 3 days. 1 million views.
I gotta start doing comics. That's what
Yeah.
I told you what I'm doing. I don't want to say it on here, but the ultimate thing I'm doing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
But like, I think that people like Comics Explain and like variant comics, like a lot of people go to them too because they're like, all right, like if it's trash, like they'll tell me, and if it's trash, they'll just break it down in like in a half hour. But when you have people like them where they're saying like, yo, go buy this, and then it goes to Instagram and X and every leaker, every scooper's talking about it, it's like you gotta hop on a wave and buy it at that point because all these people are talking about, and it spread like a virus.
That's a good point. It's like it became a thing. Like if you didn't read it, it's almost like not seeing Brave New World. Like it's part of the larger conversation of the fandom at this point, and you have to read it to understand. And I hope that it pulled in people who don't read comics. Like maybe this is something that is going to get you into comics because it really is awesome. And comics, like it's just another medium to tell stories, but they are able to do things like Ultimate Spider-Man and Absolute Batman because the barrier to making a comic is nothing like the barrier to making a movie. So a lot of times they get to kind of field their best ideas like Secret Wars that end up becoming the most hyped up movie of all time.
100%, bro. 100%. So yeah, man, they're cooking there.
Yeah,
they're cooking there. So we love it. Okay, now next topic here. All right. So
here we go.
I was covering so I was like going through news on X, trying to find some stuff to repost on my X. So my like strategy now, guys, is like I stopped caring about like followers on X. I really only post the X tweets just to make videos about it, and I kind of use it as like a codex to keep track of topics or whatever. And the one thing that I saw is I saw a Vanity Fair like article where the guy that played Soul, he did an interview because he's the star in Squid Games. And also for a fun fact, Acolyte was his first English speaking role, which is sad. Because the product's trash.
Yeah.
But the one thing that and I don't blame him because he didn't really say anything. Well, actually, I do. I blame him 50%. But he is an actor, and actors tend to not know the content, so I give him grace there. So I blame Vanity Fair, and I do think Lucasfilm had influence on Vanity Fair because I've heard a lot of people say in the industry that like studios basically tell them what to write in their articles, and I believe that's 100% true. So what Vanity Fair did?
So studios tell magazines like Vanity Fair what to write, and they just do it.
Mm-hmm. That is very true. Like even with RDJ's whole Doom thing, right? They announced RDJ as Doom. Everybody started saying it was Infamous Iron Man. Out of nowhere, RDJ gets a whole like article and a whole like interview. Like this, like all that stuff is really like calculated to a T. Now, here's what I didn't like from Vanity Fair, and I like the press that they do with the act. Like they have like a table for actors, but I really think this was very unethical and it was very disrespectful because what they did was out of their own article, they said that the fans hated Acolyte because of the racial diversity. Okay. And that really set me off. Number one, because I'm a minority in America, technically. You know what I mean? Like I am black. Look at me. I'm brown. So what really pisses me off is that, and I do feel bad for the actor because he said that he felt like crap because people were shooting racist comments at him. And look, if I said this on my TikTok, I'll say, if you want to be racist, find me. I'm in the Delaware. we can get crazy with the hands. I think if you make racist comments towards an actor, that is nasty, that is unethical, and you gotta just go. Like that. That's just like that's some of the most vile stuff you can ever do. And I think it's stupid. Now, with that being said, I am not the biggest fan of basically Lucasfilm and these little companies trying to use racism. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I take that back. When I say hands on Grand Theft Auto on GTA, I don't like how they try to use. I just don't like how they try to use racism as a scapegoat to not say that the project is trash. I just think that's not fair, and it makes me feel like Lucasfilm didn't learn their lesson about what happened. Like the diversity isn't the issue. I was happy that it was a diverse cast because it should be, but the show's bad. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
It's just bad. I mean, there's diversity has nothing to do with it being bad. It's just a bad show, bro. It's the L that they got to take, and why is it that we got to make all these excuses? Why can't the studio just be held accountable? Like that's just not fair to me, bro.
And then the problem is like you have a lot of fans that don't actually, it feels like they don't actually care if the content is good. And because they subscribe to like, oh, things should be diverse, we like social agendas in our entertainment, and those types of fans, they all pretended The Acolyte was great. You know, it was like crazy. And when you put stuff out like this, it validates that. And I don't think that's good either. Like, we are not bad people for not liking entertainment. You know, yes, obviously, if you don't like something just because of the race of the character or something like that, like obviously that's racist and that's bad. But if people don't like the story, and a lot of people say they don't like the story, it's pretty obvious that the story wasn't good. And you know, instead of taking the L, like blaming everyone else, it's crazy. And it's crazy to see people who like are pretend like The Acolyte was great, and it's like such a level of gaslighting that it's so crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And there's people on YouTube, bro, that objectively, took down the show. Like, from a plot, like
Right.
from a plot standpoint, it's just bad.
Like Star Wars theory.
Yeah, like from an objective standpoint, he didn't put any politics into his stuff because he's Canadian, so he doesn't care about American politics. He took it down from an objective standpoint, and like that's what we're saying from an objective standpoint. This show is just bad. The same with the freaking Marvels. From an objective standpoint, the plot is just terrible. It's just bad.
Yeah.
And I've seen this pattern in music as well, and just in the new entertainment circle that we're in is like a lot of people get offended when you don't like their stuff. Versus where it felt like back in the day, like, some directors had chips on their shoulder if they had some mid. And so I hope that, like that changes. But yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah. Also, I just want to say, if you are someone that like really subscribes to that idea that everything needs to be diverse and you love your social agenda in your entertainment, you should want the stuff to be good, because then people aren't complaining about it. Like, if you really don't want people complaining about shows that have like such strong diversity, why don't you hold them to a higher standard so the next project comes out that has strong racial diversity is actually good, and then people won't complain instead of just pretending it's good and blaming everyone else.
Yeah, because think about Black Panther 1, probably the most diverse cast that's ever been done in our space. That movie did $1 billion, broke all these records because it's good content. It's good. Yeah. It's great. It's great content, and that's just the reality. At least I can only speak for us two. For Jerry and I, we just like good content. So, all right. Now, last topic of the night, Creature Commandos. So, we did not see it yet. Hey, James Gunn, bro, if you were seeing this, please add us in the mix to see this stuff early, man. Like, we really want to.
Feels like everyone got the early review.
Yeah, except us, bro. Yeah. Like, come on, James, put us on. But so I did read a lot of reviews. So The positives. James Gunn's writing was praised. His writing was praised a lot. They said this. I heard people say that it's a fun time. I heard people say that like James Gunn doesn't take a lot of time to introduce characters, like because usually like a lot of shows they try to make it so long for characters to meet each other. Apparently that's done pretty quick, and it kind of has to be because it's like a 22-minute like episode, which makes sense. But they said James Gunn basically gets right to it, and that it's a fun ride. The only two negative things I heard, which I don't really consider negative, is that they said that some of the elements were kind of like he took some elements from the Suicide Squad and applied that to the Creature Commandos, which some people didn't like, which I don't really I'm not really against that as being a negative.
I think that there is so much criticism of James Gunn, and people like one of the biggest things, and we kind of saw someone touch on it in the chat is, oh, I hope he's not just doing what he's already done for DC. If there is any project that's going to be similar, it's going to be Creature Commandos. Yeah. Obviously, we don't want that in Superman, but like a team of monsters in a comic book TV show, come on. What did you expect?
Yeah. And this is the team that paves the way for the Suicide Squad. So it's like of course it's going to be like, kind of like that. So and then the other thing was, and as I said, people said it was negative. I don't really classify it. They said that this isn't James Gunn's best work, but not meaning that it's bad. It's just that like when you have Superman coming out, like, you're expecting more. So that's only like odd things I heard. But other than that, bro, the freaking love has been great for Creature Commandos, and all the reviewers, even freaking IGN, and you and I both can't stand IGN as a review company.
Yeah.
Everybody's on board with this. So this is just a good sign that we're in for a treat.
Yeah. I do love that IGN ranked Metal Gear Solid the best place of all time. They got that right. Yeah. Actually, I would have put a different Metal Gear Solid as number one, but I was happy one of them got it.
Yeah, right. I mean, IGN Gaming's always been on. It's just when it comes to movies and shows, man, they got bad. Yeah, IGN, hire us, man.
It's almost like they do it to get comments.
100%. Because, bro, they rank Penguin like a 4.
Dude, a 5. It's crazy.
A 5, bro. Like that's a crime. That's a crime against humanity, bro. So yeah.
What do they give the Marvels?
Oh, it had to be like a 7.5 or something. It had to be something high.
I bet you it was higher. I'm looking it up right now.
Let me see.
8 out of 10.
No way.
Yeah.
No way, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
They're definitely farming, bro. They're farming for views. There's no way.
Or you know what it is? They some people rank things higher because of the diversity.
That's so wow.
There are people that judge things unfairly because of that, and it goes both ways. Some people will say stuff sucked because of racial diversity, and some people also say stuff was awesome because it was racial diversity.
That's crazy.
Both are wrong. Like,
yeah.
You got to judge the content on the content, okay? 100%. And this is the problem with social agendas being in entertainment. One of the many problems. But the problem is you have people that love that social agenda so much that they don't judge it on the content. Or you have people that hate that social agenda so much that, but it comes down to the same problem. People not watching it for the entertainment, and it's ridiculous.
100%. And you will never get that here, guys.
Yeah.
On this channel. So, all right, we're going to end it here, guys.
I just want to say one thing.
Yeah,
by the way, that's kind of what I said to that other kid on Threads the other day, and I want to pull it up because I want to say exactly what I said. But he was like, he wrote, and I'm quoting someone else, but he wrote, I did in terms of seeing I did in terms of giving Miles Morales a chance, and he sucks. Expletive. I'm not going to say the word on YouTube. The only reason Miles fans I want to say this in quotes so no one thinks that I'm saying, the only reason Miles has fans is because A, his fans are a bunch of blind consumers who just buy his crap regardless of the actual quality, or B, because he's black. So, I think it goes both ways. I think that there are people who only like things because of the racial or social agenda or whatever. And I think there are people who are racist who only don't like things because of the racial agenda. If it could go one direction, it could go the other.
Yeah, but the guy also cooked his own stuff because I mean that's all kids. Like when I was like kids buy if it's Spider-Man, a parent is gonna buy it. Like that's the whole point. That's the whole point of superheroes is that like when parents have kids, they're gonna buy them everything Spider-Man. And bro, Miles Morales is for the kids. Like, bro, you know how many kids saw that movie? You know how many kids played Spider-Man 2? You know how many kids have a Miles Morales and a Peter Parker toy? Like, come on, bro. Like, that's no like that's just a stupid thing that he's saying. Like, like me and you, anything that has Spider-Man, we're going to watch. It doesn't matter how bad it is, dude. I saw Madam Web, bro.
Right.
I paid my hard-earned money to watch Madam Web.
Like, it's IP for a reason.
Yeah, bro. So, yeah, like, if you're gonna say that, that really takes away the whole point of being a superhero fan. Like, come on. So, all right, we're gonna end the podcast here, guys. We hope you guys had a great time listening to the pod. You'll be seeing clips all week. Follow me and Comic Cuts on TikTok. We're posting every day. We love you guys. Stay crispy. Peace out.
Peace.